On your podcast, Seek Treatment, you ask your guests 3 questions. Who were you? Who are you now? And who do you want to be? So I'm just going to ask you those.
Oh, okay. Who was I?
Yeah.
I was chubby. No boys liked me. I'm a girl in Texas wanting attention. I am glamorous, star of stage and screen. And I want to be that on a bigger level.
Wow.
Do you like that?
It's cold.
Why not?
Be completely honest.
Yeah.
In your interaction with the medical staff.
Oh, I love them.
Did you ever say, like, just so you know, like, I know you're seeing me like this. I had a stroke. When I'm in front of a crowd, I knock people out.
Well, obviously, my favorite thing in life is making a doctor laugh. Like, I'm trying so hard. I'm literally tap dancing. There was one moment when, like, this nurse who I really thought we were vibing asked what I did. And usually I would be like, ignore it. And instead I was like, I'm going to throw him a bone. I'm a comedian.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh. And I was like, you can watch my special on Netflix.
Oh, my God.
Guess what he says? Oh, I don't have Netflix.
Oh, God.
I was like, flatlining. She's flatlining. It's so crazy. I love doctors. I love nurses.
Doctors and nurses, is it taboo to say? Sexy group of people.
Yeah.
I think.
Specialists are incredibly sexy. It's my sexy ass neurologist. You know why? Because she wrote me an email because she knew I was freaking out. She wrote me an email that said I was going to have a long, happy life.
Oh.
Can you believe that? How lucky is that? My boyfriend's like, they don't just say that.
They don't just say
and
that.
I go, of course she's just saying that. He's like, they wouldn't put it in writing.
They kind of do though, don't they?
That's kind of what I thought. But what she did say, which was nice, was she was like, when we deal with this, you'll be healthier than you were before, which is true.
Well, that's wonderful.
So that was nice to hear. So they diagnosed this thing and they say the good news, there's a procedure you can get where you basically just plug the hole with like a piece of mesh kind of, and they can do, what's so amazing is they can do it. This is where the jokes just like start writing themselves. They go through your groin. So I'm like, major. And this
is go through an artery, right?
They go through a big artery in your groin. Yeah. And, you go home that night, you're awake during the surgery. Right. I'm like,
right.
hold please.
You're probably on like a cocktail of drugs.
Yes.
Right.
Not enough.
Not enough.
But a little bit. But then,
why are you saying that because it was painful or like?
It wasn't painful, just my anxiety was obviously out of control. I could literally feel them jostling is the word that comes to mind. And I go, oh my God. They go, don't worry, that's just us. I was like, yeah, I hope so. I'm like, what do you mean? Jostling. But, and then this is the real kicker. The neurologist goes, I have an amazing cardiologist for you. Don't laugh. I'm like, okay, what? His name's Dr. Love.
Oh, sweet.
How sweet is that? And he's going to fill the hole in my heart.
That's beautiful. 2 on the nose.
That's what I'm saying for the show. I'm like, it's actually like not funny.
Well, it's funny because like you walked up today and you were like, and I was like, you had a stroke.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, I'm gonna talk about it on the show.
No, like, you're the perfect person to talk to.
Well, because you're gonna talk about it on stage, and I've talked a lot about medical issues. Like in Old Man in the Pool, I talk about medical issues quite a bit. What do you think? Do you want to make a whole show about it?
Yes. So basically, this is why it's so great to talk to you, because I feel like in the past, the 2 shows I've done so far are very just like jokey bit here, like very quick, like switching between topics super fast. No storytelling at all, really. And so now I'm like, okay, I kind of have a story to tell.
Sure.
So now I'm like, I've never thought in that mode or written in that mode, like, okay, how do I start from the beginning of this? And, what have I learned and what does it mean to me? And like, why is it funny, I guess? All this stuff. I'm about to tape my show right now in 2 weeks and then do it all summer. And then September, I got to start writing what's next. So it's exciting. Or I should start this summer, really. Well, can I ask you, are you able to be like writing the new show while you're performing the old one?
It's very hard.
Yeah, I really struggled.
I had that last year where I did 9 months of a new hour after I filmed Old Man in the Pool. And then I had to do Old Man in the Pool in London for a month. Oh, yeah. So I had to relearn the show.
That's so hard.
Unlearn the other show. And it was, my brain just couldn't handle it.
Yeah. And were you like dying to do like the newer stuff?
Yeah.
In between? Yeah.
So that was, it's a hard thing. But Yeah, I think one of the things that I think is exciting about this project that you're describing is that your comedy already is kind of simultaneously surreal, but then also genuine.
Mm,
And I feel like,
I hope so. Yeah.
yeah, that's unique. I feel like in your universe, in a sense that like your contemporaries like John Early or Kate Berlant, who I think are hilarious.
I look up to. They're everything.
Who have both been on this pod and I love, are more in the surreal side of the universe or the character side of the universe. But your stuff is more, I feel like you're open to just being like, this is how I feel about this.
Yeah.
With no irony.
I actually feel like because I do music, people just call me like alt, but in reality, I'm actually just talking about like dating and my life. And I'm actually not saying, the stuff I'm saying isn't very surreal at all. I'm kind of just like, here's me freezing my eggs. Like it's very straight ahead stand up in some ways. But because I do songs, people are like, she's kooky.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And because I wear like a fun outfit, they're like, she's alternative. But I'm like, I'm actually so straight ahead.
Right. How did you, so you want to make this as a show. I guess my question is like, what's the easiest part about it is that it has stakes to it.
Mm-hmm.
So like there's genuinely life and death stakes, and so I think makes everything a little bit more, it matter a little bit more.
Yeah. And
also like you could have it again, probably, or maybe not. I don't know.
How do you guys put up with this? I could have it again.
I tell them every day that they could have a stroke at any moment.
No, I can't have it again. That's because I have the thing.
Oh, right. You get the email.
No, because I have the surgery.
You're going to have a long, happy life.
I had a surgery. You are going to do terrors to you're going to wreak havoc on my home
no.
if you put in my brain that it's going to happen again. No, here's what I've been told.
Long, happy life?
I could have a stroke again, but not for the reason I had one the first time.
Okay.
Can we deal with that?
Yeah, no. I apologize to the listeners, to the viewers.
Don't apologize. Own it.
I apologize to you.
You want me dead. You want me dead.
But there's very high stakes. And I guess what I would say is like, what were when you were going through this, what were your darkest thoughts?
Yeah, my darkest thoughts, I think the main thing was, would I be able to do what I love ever again? And so I do think the show, maybe it's something along the lines of like, I always said, if I make it through this, I'm going to do what I love. And it's like, what is that, do I start tap dancing at the end? Like, what is that, like, being a performer or whatever?
I think that there's so much potential with your show because you have, I just tell stories. You have an actual talent. You can sing. You can write songs.
Sure.
So that's exciting.
I think storytelling is an actual talent.
Yeah. Storytelling is a talent too, but you have that too. But
yeah.
I guess what would I would say, okay, so your biggest fear was you'll never be able to do what you want to do again. And then I would say, what's the biggest surprise about the experience?
These are great questions. Biggest surprise that everything's fine.
Oh. Yeah.
But I got really lucky. Like, the thing about this whole stroke story is like, it's silly because it sounds so much worse than it actually was.
Yeah. Like
in reality, it was like 2 months of my life where I was like stressed out, but I was walking around, I was eating whatever I wanted. Like it wasn't a real, the main thing it made me think was just, I'm so grateful. Like there are so many people who are actually so sick and can't do things. And like, I have so much life in me. And like, I'm so lucky that this is all I have. Like, this is like good luck. It literally is like amazing.
Yeah.
That they found out what it was the same day.
Yeah.
I got in to have the procedure, 3 weeks later.
Yeah.
I was hiking 2 weeks after that. Like it was just so lucky.
Yeah.
When so many people that's not the case.
Oh yeah.
So I think that just like breaks my heart. It makes me feel grateful.
On your podcast and on stage, you're genuine about a lot of your feelings. Do you remember a time recently where in your life you couldn't convey how you genuinely felt?
I'm like, no.
I'd say this joke on stage in my current show, but I say my wife Jenny describes me as the narrator of our marriage who nobody asked for.
What are you saying?
I'm just like, I'm washing the dishes. I'm going to grab ice cream for your parents are coming over later.
Okay.
You don't have to say all that.
That's so funny.
Does that feel like what you are?
No. I would think more of like, more of like an emotion, like, what am I trying to say? I just have very emotional reactions to like, and extreme reactions to most things that happen to me. My whole life has been like trying to rein those in. Like in therapy, it's been like trying to like not jump to conclusions, not like freak out about every little email I get. Like when I was on vacation with my boyfriend, we made this catchphrase, it's all fun and games till you get an email. We'd be like enjoying our vacation, then I'd see some email about work stuff and I'd like completely spiral.
It's endless, right?
Yeah, I'm really trying to like hit is everything I've achieved, will it disappear in 1 second?
Oh.
And does everyone hate me? And why? And what did I do wrong?
Oh.
Real?
You're stressing me out.
Oh, please stop.
No, in a good way.
Stressing me out in a good way. Why?
Okay, so let's unpack that. Could everything go away?
Oh, I can't.
Hold on. Could everything go away? By the way, yes.
Yes.
For everyone.
For everyone always.
For everyone at all times.
Yes.
The second one is, do people hate me?
Yeah.
And then, which is how I feel when I used to smoke weed.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Do you guys hate me? Why does my heart hurt? Is that rickets? You know what I mean? Like that's just my whole existence. I don't use drugs of any kind anymore.
Yeah.
And do they hate me?
Mm-hmm.
And then why? And then why?
And what did I?
And what I do?
Or more like, did I do something wrong?
Right.
Did I do something wrong and I forgot?
Right. That makes sense.
Just chill, Steph. Just cool girl shit.
Did I do something wrong and what was it? But I feel, you know what? I don't know if this helps any. You're beloved.
Oh, well, right back at you.
Did it help? Is anything helping here?
People are so... No, I'm in a good place. Like, I have a new healer. We've been doing amazing work.
Okay. I'm worried.
I'm stressing you out more and more.
I have a new healer. Okay, all right. What type of healer?
Well, she is an amazing woman who lives in New Zealand.
Oh, okay. This is nothing. You're literally saying nothing.
I would say it's more of like a therapist.
You said her location.
Well, to me that like evokes so much. Doesn't that evoke so much?
Sure.
Like you can just be like, ooh.
Yeah.
She's all about positive thinking, which is okay for me.
I love that. Power of positive thinking.
Positive thinking, manifesting not in like a cringy way, but more just like, instead of being like, does everyone hate me? You should be like, no, like, or who cares? Whatever.
Yeah.
Like, here I am. I love this. I love that. I'm so grateful. That kind of stuff.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
That seems really positive.
It is.
That's similar to the thing that sort of jostles me out of my head thing, which is Eckhart Tolle, Power of Now.
If you're breathing, there's more right with you than there's wrong with you.
Yeah. You read it?
I have not read it. I feel like it's been downloaded on my whatever.
Oh, it's very key based on what you're describing. Might save you a few bucks on your healer.
All right, enough. This is not what I came here for.
No, because it's all just separation of your mind from your consciousness.
Yes, I should do that. I'll give it a listen.
It's just analyzing like, okay, those are my thoughts, and my thoughts are
not real and they can't hurt me.
Yeah.
I know, but I'm like, what does that even mean? That thought, it's so abstract. If they're not real, then what am I?
If they're not real.
If my thoughts aren't real, then what's real?
What's real is your soul.
And what's going on there? And what's going on there? Still here.
How long have you been doing this?
Doing what?
Comedy.
I need to show you something.
Okay.
This is so incredible.
Okay.
A text from my aunt yesterday. It's a screenshot of a Facebook memory from 10 years ago. And it's my Facebook status. Hello, I am making my stand-up comedy debut tomorrow night at 6 p.m. at the Broadway Comedy Club. Laugh with me, laugh at me. Let's go. Heart.
10 years ago. So it's your 10-year anniversary.
Today.
Beautiful.
Isn't that crazy?
I love that.
It's so beautiful to share this with you.
It's going so great for you.
It is going great. I'm so lucky.
So in your special, you say, you sing a song about how boys didn't want to kiss you, and now you do comedy. Do you feel the attention now in your career?
I think in terms of the boys wanting to kiss me, I think I swung too far in the other direction, and then I was using male attention for validation for like 10 years, and I had like horrific relationships, and I'm only now, I would just like fuck everything, and now I'm just coming out of that, and now I'm in like a nice, happy relationship, and I don't need that as much.
Jenny showed me this documentary about Ashley Madison?
I just started it.
Okay.
It's so sad.
Okay, it's a lot.
The Frozen couple?
Yeah, so I was just going to bring this up in relation to the attention. Okay.
Oh, that was so twisted.
Yeah, so
that made me sick.
So people, I'll have to bring people up to speed on this. There's a documentary about Ashley Madison, which is a website, if you don't know, that's for dating for people who are already married but want to have an affair. And the significant thing about it is it was huge, or was. It's got 40 million.
I know. I'm like, 40 million people?
40 million subscribers.
Where are they?
I know, where are they? They're among us. And
I go, break up.
Right. And it's for married people wanting to have an affair. There's 40 million subscribers, and there was a data breach.
So funny.
And so all the people got outed. Maybe I'm not that far in the documentary, but here's a significant thing that your special made me think of. One of the guys having an affair.
Not me making you think of this.
One of the guys, he just wanted attention, which is why he had the affair. And then in the middle of Ashley Madison, his life, like he had to log in and he was meeting up with people. He and his wife was like very sweet and like maybe
so
like
pure.
Texan or Southern or something.
Yeah.
They made a viral video of lip syncing a song from Frozen, and love is an open door.
Yeah, we do it.
Yeah.
We're gonna remake the video.
Love is an open door. But that satiated him.
Well, what he said was, he goes, and because I was like, I can't believe he just said that. He goes, I was meeting up with these people. He goes, and then something major happened. And I'm like, what? And he's like, the movie Frozen came out. I'm like, how could this possibly circle back to this guy's relationship? So yeah, he got validation from YouTube comments.
Yes.
And so he didn't need to cheat on his wife anymore.
Yeah.
And that made me die.
It made me think of you.
Thank you so much. I think for a while I was, like when I first started and when I was doing well, it was like that. And then I realized like people can flip on you so quickly that I actually don't. Like,
say more about that.
Like I think someone saying you're their everything means as much as someone saying like you're not funny and I hate you.
Sure.
And especially if you have like nowadays it's so easy to see because you have a clip go viral or go big. Anytime a clip goes big, you get just as much hate as you do love.
Yes.
Or at least you see the hate. And so for a while, because I was in such a small little community, I was just getting love. I was like, oh my God, everyone loves me. I'm so good. And then like, inevitably you get a little bigger and it opens you up to trolls and random people. And then like now I have like just the craziest comments from people. And I'm like, all it means is that I'm doing well professionally. But I used to let both of those things build me up and tear me down so much. And now I'm just like, I don't care.
Does the negative comment, is there one that gets to you?
Of course.
A type of negative comment?
Yeah, so many. I mean, I brush them. I can kind of process them more quickly, but even silly ones like you're fat. I'm like, obviously, I don't care. I love whatever. Fuck off. But even that, like the first thing, I'm like, I am. Like, and it's like, no, because it's literally my childhood trauma, whatever. But what I'm saying is, do they get? Yes, the mean comments get to me, but not as much as they used to.
Yeah.
And similarly, I used to really be built up by people being like, oh my God, queen, you are the funniest person in the world, but I love you. And it's like, that doesn't mean anything to me either.
Right.
Because those people, if they're in a bad mood, could be like making the mean comments. It's just like, it doesn't mean anything.
That seems great.
What means something to me is like people I like and respect liking me.
Yeah.
My friends and family liking me.
Yeah.
And that's been kind of the past few years, like dealing with that. I'm sure, yeah. What do you think about all that stuff? Do people comment mean stuff on your videos?
Oh, yeah.
Really? I feel like you're so beloved.
No, I think the thing that's tough about the internet is that the moment you put yourself on your work on the internet, it will be misunderstood.
100p.
And so weirdly, like as artists, we're trying to be understood.
I know.
And it's not going to happen. And so like sometimes people, like the thing that'll get to me is people will be like, oh, Mike is like middle of the road, or Mike is like, oh, like I'm actually not. Like I'm actually putting myself out there in a way that is maybe not connecting with you, but is connecting with these other people.
Exactly.
And so it hurts me in a way that's tough.
I know.
But because it's fundamentally what I'm trying to do.
I know.
And they're like,
they can sum up all your worst fears in like 3 words.
Yes.
And they don't even know necessarily they're doing it, but I'm like, wow, this person really hit close to home. Or like one time someone said like, oh, she just makes she just makes sounds. She doesn't even tell jokes. And I'm like, yeah, because I'm trying to save like a good joke, not for a clip, but for something maybe bigger. And like, I'm just posting funny clips to have fun.
Right.
That really pissed me off. I was like, you don't know me.
This is the slow round. I feel like these questions are sort of made for you and simultaneously not made for you.
I can't wait to hear what they are.
What are people's favorite and least favorite thing about you?
What a crazy question.
I know, but we get great answers.
Favorite thing about me? I once had someone tell me that I was very generous with my energy, which I thought was one of the nicest things someone could say to me.
I think you are.
Thank you.
In my experience.
Isn't that a nice thing to say to someone? It was so thoughtful. So
very thoughtful.
I've always think of that. Worst thing about me, if I'm in a bad mood and you're close to me, you're going to have to deal with that.
Suffer the wrath.
Or even like I can just, and this is what I'm working on too, but I can just like flip into being like so angry and like taking it out on the person I'm with.
Do you remember the last time that happened?
Yeah, like last week.
What'd you do? What'd you say?
It's interesting because it's all directed towards myself. Like if I get bad news about work or something, I'm like, God, and this is a phrase I'm banned from using in my house, but I'm like, I'm such a fucking loser. Like I'm a loser. And then I'll bring it back to myself. And then it's like, my boyfriend's like, that makes me feel bad when you're saying that. And you're like, because I used to say like, I don't say these things anymore. I used to like, I hate my life. And he'd be like, how do you think that makes me feel?
Right. I'm in the life.
Yeah, we're building a life together.
We're doing the life thing
your life.
together.
You think you're a loser. Why are you saying that? So it's like this wrath I direct towards myself that then like poisons those around me.
That's deep.
Thank you for having me. Good night.
I don't think we're going to close on that. I think we're going to keep going. What's the time you lied and got away with it?
I have such a hard time lying.
Oh, really?
Like it'll eat me alive.
Why?
I think it's like an OCD thing of just, even if I lie about something inconsequential, I'll be like, I shouldn't. That's actually not what happened.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
So that's not a good one for you. So
lied and got away with it. I stole something once.
What'd you steal?
I worked at a boutique in Houston when I was in high school, and I stole a ring, and I still have it.
You still have it?
It's cute.
Oh, that's nice.
I just walked out with it.
You don't feel any guilt?
I kind of do a little bit.
Yeah?
I'm very like good. I have like good girl syndrome for sure. Like I'm like, I have to be perfect.
Good student?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was like so psycho.
Right.
Just like so hard on myself about school in this way that was like so unnecessarily intense. Because I didn't think I would get out. You know what I mean? I was like, I have to get out of this town.
Right.
And that seemed like a good way to do it.
Yeah, I think I had that from childhood.
Right?
I had the good student.
Yeah.
Well, because it's sort of like if you're trying to like, let's say you're trying to please your parents.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of it's really the only move.
Yeah, you're like, here's what I got.
There's only one place that gives me grades.
Yeah, I don't do anything. And then I got this.
Yeah.
But also like, and that's why this career can be so hard because you want things to be like, oh, I did this achievement, so then I automatically do the next achievement. And instead it's like, no, boom, boom. Like you can't control anything. And as a good student, that can be frustrating.
Yeah, I think that makes perfect sense. There's and definitively art is not a meritocracy.
It's great.
Definitively, which is why award shows are always so funny to watch because we're like, oh,
I'm like, okay.
Everyone's dressing up. What are we doing?
It's so, I'd love to be invited.
I have it on the list. So if I invite Cat to all events.
It's so amazing to be included in those events. Oh, that's so sweet.
What's the best piece of advice someone's given you that you used?
I think I remember my friend from high school, her mom once told me people do what they want to do. So you can't make someone do something. So if a friend doesn't want to hang out, or if I'm not invited, I'm just like, okay, that's like, I'm not going to ever text them like, hey, things have been weird between us lately. It's like, they're doing what they want to do. It's fine. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's the Bonnie Raitt song, I Can't Make You Love Me.
Exactly.
That really hits me for the exact reason you're saying, because it's true metaphorically of all things.
Yes.
It's like, well, if that person doesn't love you, they don't love you. And that could mean love. It could mean anything.
Yeah, exactly.
It could mean they just don't want to do a thing with you.
I know. And sometimes I'm like, I'm like, well, that doesn't make sense. But they should be. And it's like, whatever. They don't.
Yeah.
They don't think of that. That's fine.
Is there a song that makes you cry?
Oh, there's so many.
Name a couple.
Well, I just went to see Illinois on Broadway.
Yep.
Have you seen it?
Sufjan
The
Stevens
Sufjan musical?
Musical, yeah.
It's so beautiful. It's like a ballet.
Mm-hmm.
And the music is like, that album makes me cry.
That album is stunning.
It's just beyond. So obviously Kazimierz Pulaski Day makes me cry, but also my favorite is Wasp or Pacific Wasp for the Palisades, whatever the title is. I can explain. Take it.
Yeah, beautiful.
I was like, it was so good. And the show is so well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Sufjan so much.
I have a recollection of performing in Chicago. I was starting out at the Lakeshore Theater.
All things go.
Yeah, listening to the Illinois album as we were driving our van out of the city.
So cool.
And it's just like one of those things you just go, oh, I'll always remember that.
Yes, it's great plane music. I like to be very introspective on a plane.
Yeah. What's the most absurd thing you've ever done while drunk?
Oh, God. I just have done so much stupid stuff. Absurd. I don't like being drunk anymore because I was just like...
Me neither.
Do you drink?
Not really any longer.
I fell on a candle 2 years ago.
You fell on a candle? A lit candle?
Yeah.
You fell on a lit candle.
You know what's tricky is the pandemic made me drink so much.
Don't blame the pandemic.
And if the pandemic hadn't happened, I would not have fallen on a candle.
We have one rule around here, and it's do not blame the pandemic. I don't care how many fucking candles you fell into that were lit.
I went clubbing, which is something I don't often do. I went clubbing with this friend. I was so drunk, and I stood up to dance on a table.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm young, I'm having fun. Tripped, fell on a candle, like wax all over me.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. It was amazing because I immediately just like walked out of the club. I was like, and it's time to go. Covered in wax, like that is my cue. Didn't even text. Like some of my friends were like on the dance floor, didn't say goodbye. I was just like, I left because I fell on a candle. And I'll see y'all later.
Did you light on fire? Or are you gonna burn?
No, it somehow like was extinguished.
Okay. Wow, that's a good one. Good answer. That's a Hall of Fame answer.
Really?
Yeah, I think that's a really good answer.
I'm like, that's child's play.
Oh, really? Why do you have worse ones?
I mean, none of them are like fun. That's like a silly one.
Oh, okay.
Other ones are just like, texting someone 47 times.
Oh.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Well, I just had this boyfriend from college. We were on and off for a million years, and whenever I'd get drunk, I'd just be like, I miss you. Are you mad at me?
The opposite. I feel close to you.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Yeah, it was bad.
It's hard for you and it's hard for him.
So eventually he blocked me. Shout out. Shout out. Nothing but respect for him. He's an amazing person.
Oh my gosh.
Didn't talk for a long time.
How do you even block someone on your phone?
Oh, I'll show you that.
Okay. Maybe afterwards you could show me.
I love to block. A few years ago, or maybe like I ran into him in Prospect Park, and we were both like so nervous, shaking. And then it was so rom-com because I was like, how are you? And he was like, I'm getting married in 3 weeks. I was like, I'm happy for you. It was so beautiful because I'm happy too. But yeah, I used to be such a menace. Like, I was so horrible. I was so horrible. I've been a bad girlfriend. I've been a bad roommate. I've been a nightmare.
How were you a bad girlfriend?
When I was younger, I would never I was obsessed with breaking up with people and getting back together when it suited me.
You should talk about that on stage.
Oh, really?
Would you consider talking about that on stage?
Yeah,
that show.
Yeah, of course.
I feel like people don't talk about that enough.
Interesting. Yeah, think about that.
In My Girlfriend's Boyfriend years ago, I talked about how when Jenny and I were first seeing each other, we were both unfaithful. We were both like a mess. We would fight all the time. We'd get in arguments, all this stuff. And it was I think a super cathartic show.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I feel like so often in stand-up people are talking about kind of the fun hot mess side of themselves, but maybe not the less awesome fun mess, hot mess part of themselves.
Totally.
And I feel like that's a good territory.
I like that because I think I would often, especially when I was younger, I'd wanted a boyfriend for so long that whenever I got close to having one, I'd be like, well, there must be a better one out there. So I won't officially commit to you. I'll just keep looking for the next one. And then when I'm sad, I'll come back to you and then that kind of thing.
Oh, that's deep. When I'm sad, I'll come back to you.
Oh, of course. Hence the 45 texts.
When I'm sad, I'll come back to you.
Yeah.
Oof.
Pathetic.
That's a hard type of relationship.
Well, thankfully it's in my past.
Yeah. 3 weeks. In 3 weeks, I'm getting married.
So beautiful. I wish him the best.
Oh my God. so on the show, we work on material.
Yes.
And a lot of this stuff is like stuff where I haven't done it on stage. I've written it in the notebook, and I don't know about you. I find talking to other comedians is helpful.
So helpful.
Just because it's like, it makes you a little less afraid of it. When I was in 7th grade at Shrewsbury Middle School, the kids started wearing a type of like a parachute pant kind of thing called skids. Does this ring a bell at all? It's maybe well before your time.
I'm excited to
It was called skids.
Okay.
And they were basically a specific brand of parachute pants. And I went home and I said to my mom, I need skids. Because my entire social life hinges on skids.
You were craving them.
Yeah. And she took me to the store, Spags, which is a warehouse.
Skids and Spags.
They didn't have skids. They had a generic brand of skids. And I said, Mom, these are not skids.
Yeah.
And she said, this is what you're getting or nothing. It's the same thing and it's $20 cheaper. And I cried real tears. And the next day, I wore imitation skids to school. I was mocked mercilessly by 6th graders who were wearing brand name skids. To this day, I do not love my parents. That was the moment I realized they are idiots and they know nothing.
Yes, exactly.
So that's like just a thing I jotted down recently.
I mean, it's so relatable.
There's something in it, right?
100%. It's like, as a parent, that makes so much sense. And as a kid, it's like the worst thing they could do to you.
I remember it like it was goddamn yesterday.
What did they say when they mocked you?
Oh, it was really honestly just like, yeah, those aren't skids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Was there a logo or something?
Yeah. The logo was a car skidding.
That's sick.
It's like this, like, you're like,
okay, that's actually cool.
I know it is kind of cool. So obviously, there's an age gap between us. So you're not of the era of skids. So with the audience, I'm going to have to bring them along.
Sure.
To, okay, this is what this was.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe there's some kind of comp for it in modern times. Maybe there's a brand that has a certain type of logo. It's kind of like this, like something modern.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I don't know what that thing would be.
A lot of these young, because sometimes on TikTok, I'll see like Gen Z roasts, millennial, whatever. Sure. And Gen Z, the things they do apparently are they wear really big clothes.
Okay.
They wear those star-faced pimple patches.
Okay.
Which is crazy. Have you seen this? They wear just like stickers on their faces when they have pimples. It's great. It's like, and so if it's a star, it's like this cute thing. But if you wear a normal pimple patch, it'd be crazy. But if you have the star, it's like cute. So that's something.
I'm laughing because the idea that I would know that is outrageous.
Well, you will when Oona goes to school.
Oh, of course.
Of course. No. And you haven't seen this? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're not up to date.
Do you have anything you're working on that you want to mention?
No, I just wanted to, the one thing, so about this stroke show, I think the main thing is trying to work out material now when I have like a 10-minute slot. How do I, there's no easy way to go into, so I had a stroke, so the audience goes silent.
People ask me this all the time.
Yeah, what do you think?
Right, so so the question is, a majority of your stage time is probably 5, 10, 15, 20-minute chunks of time, but you're trying to work on something that's basically 80 minutes.
Yeah, hopefully.
80 minutes. And it's like, and once you bring up the thing, like years ago when I did Sleepwalk with me,
right, exactly.
I got cancer. I had bladder tumor when I was 20. And you just lose the audience.
Exactly.
The audience is like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, they're like, oh God.
I know.
And then you just explain like, no, it's fine.
No. For me with the cancer, so when I started talking about cancer on stage, for me, it's all about one joke that makes it okay.
Yeah.
Like literally, like when I came up with that, I was like, thank God. I I had cancer when I was 20, but it's funny because I'm a hypochondriac. I think the funniest thing that can happen to a hypochondriac is you get cancer. You're like, see,
exactly.
I told you.
Yes, exactly.
There's going to be a lot of changes around here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then people were like, oh, okay, I get it. You're in a place where you can laugh about it.
Exactly. It's that first sentence.
I have a thing right now that my dad, talking about how my dad had a stroke. And I say, and it's sad, but I go, it's really intense and blah, blah. And then I go, but it has calmed him down.
That's so good.
And then I go, I just want you to know, most of the jokes tonight are for you, but that one's for me.
Yeah.
And then it's my way of indicating to them, hey, don't worry about it. This is my life. I'm going to make a joke about this thing.
Yeah.
It's really close to the bone.
Yeah.
And I think like with your stroke story, it's like, how can you find a way in that is getting people to know it's okay that you're okay?
Yes, exactly. Like, don't worry, I've done so much stupid shit since then. Or like, don't worry, since then I've done blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm healthy, I'm good. And making a joke like in that way.
Completely.
Or like.
Or you could be like, or you could, if you could hold up a note card on stage and be like, don't worry, there's 5 other things on my set list.
Yeah, exactly.
Like to indicate that's just one of the things.
That's the low key thing. Yeah, it's interesting. Do you know Maggie Winters? She's a very funny stand-up. And I saw her in Chicago talk about this back surgery she had. And she goes, I had crazy back surgery. You're jealous. And that was so good. Like, okay, you guys are so jealous that I had back surgery. I was like, oh, that's so good.
That's nice.
Right?
That's a good one.
That was fun.
Yeah, I think like anything where essentially like when I'm working on my shows, I work on in clubs like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes of like the pieces of what I want to bring to the show.
Mm-hmm.
And it's never gonna do as well as it's gonna do in the context of your final show.
Yeah.
But you just want to get it to a point where you're like, oh, that's a joke that works, and that even out of context.
Exactly. That's what's been tricky.
So you sort of have to lower your standards also for like how well those specific parts are gonna be.
Right.
As opposed to like talking about your experience having a stroke for 80 minutes, the audience is gonna be like living in your shoes.
Yeah. I have a great title for my show.
What do you got?
Broad Strokes.
Oh, I love that.
Thank you.
Broad Strokes.
Fun, right?
It's fantastic.
Now I just got to write the show.
But I think it's, you have all the tools.
I also almost don't even know, because the stroke is linked to the heart surgery in this weird way. It's like a lot of explaining before I even get to the funny part. Do you know what I mean?
I'm gonna throw out a pitch that's like not maybe what it is, but like I would try to do a thing. Rory Scovel was on this podcast recently, and he says he highly recommends to his comic friends just taking the plunge and improvising on stage.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, because you find that you're so much more capable of it than you think you are.
Yeah.
And I would almost say, set up a challenge for yourself where you're like, I know I'm just going to do 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to walk out on stage. I'm going to talk about the stroke.
Yeah.
And I know I might eat shit. And I'm not going to plan out the beats of it.
Yeah.
I'm just literally going to talk them through it, and I'm going to find the comedy. Because I think your like panicky brain will find the joke because deep down you're funny.
Oh, good. That's nice. Yeah.
That's one idea.
I think that's really helpful. But yeah, scary.
Yeah, it's scary.
It's exciting though. I feel one of the main things I want to say is I'm so grateful this happened. I had nothing else to talk about. My life's so easy. Look at me. Boom, boom, boom. I have everything I want.
Right.
So now I have this amazing material. And
that's
like,
funny.
Yeah, something like that. Like, which thank God I had a stroke.
That's funny. Maybe if you go, don't, I had a stroke last summer. Don't worry. I have great material about it.
Yeah, like thank God.
Thank God.
Because I'm in a relationship, so I don't have any silly dating stories. Like, thank God I had a stroke because my life was getting so boring.
The final thing we do on the show is working out for a cause. Is there a nonprofit you like to support?
Oh, yes, there is one called the Loveland Foundation, which helps fund therapy sessions for Black women and girls.
That's wonderful.
It's very cool.
We will contribute to them.
I love that.
We will link to them in the show notes. Cat Cohen, it's been so fun having you.
Thank you so much for having me. It's so cool.
It's great. And I can't wait to see what happens with the show.
I know. Be in touch. Broad strokes.
Broad strokes.